Welcome to Sports Uncorked. I'm your host, Rachel McCarter. Thank you so much for being here with us again today. We have an excellent episode lined up for you. This is my favorite weekend of the entire year because it is Masters weekend and I love the Masters. Having it be a bucket list item for my entire life, I've had the opportunity to go 2 different times, and it kind of ruins every other golf experience for you because it is the most beautiful place on earth. The grass, I've never seen greener grass. It looks like it was combed with a fine tooth comb every morning. There's like not a pine straw piece out of place. The azaleas are always bloomed and absolutely perfectly opened for the start of the tournament. It's a magical place. And I do think what makes it so magical and so much different than any other golf tournament throughout the year, specifically even with majors, is there's still no cell phones allowed. So it's like being transported back into the 90s where you actually had to set times, wear watches, how you were going to meet up with people. And what makes that so magical and so special is that you are truly, for the time that you are at the Masters, you are truly living in the moment. So you don't have people every time someone is putting, holding up their phone, trying to capture that on video. Everyone is forced to just live in the moment, soak up the reality of what's around them, and actually be present with the people that they're with. So there's a lot that makes the Masters so special. I do think it's one of the top sporting events out there. And, they're known for a couple of different things. The food, the prices, and the concessions have not changed. You can still get a pimento cheese sandwich for $1.50. You can get a beer for $3. Their peach ice cream sandwiches are to die for. Pimento cheese and egg salad sandwiches, they're also known for those. So, very affordable concessions, and that's another thing they're known for. The drink that I'm going to try for you today and teach you about is a drink called the Azalea. So the Azalea is one of the signature cocktails of the Masters, and it's what I'm going to be drinking. And I've forced my family to drink out of old Masters cups all week because I love this time of year. So the Azalea is what I'm going to be drinking on the show today. Marissa will be joining me as well with this beverage. But it is made of 1.5 ounces of vodka, 2 ounces if you're in my neck of the woods, because I didn't realize that standard shot glasses are actually 2 ounces, not 1.5 ounces. So I go with the even 2 ounces, 5 ounces of lemonade, a 1/2 ounce of grenadine, and then you top it off with a maraschino cherry and a lemon wedge or a wheel. I like to do a wheel because I think it's prettier. But that is the Azalea, and it is one of the signature drinks of the Masters. It tastes like spring. It is a beautiful color of an azalea, and it's the perfect amount of sweetness and just tastes like a nice spring beverage. So cheers. So nice. Just so nice. So another thing I wanted to tell you about from my experience in Augusta is there's this craze that maybe a lot of people don't know about. I sure didn't know about it until I got there, but there's this craze over these lawn gnomes. They're called like Masters gnomes. And every year there is a signature gnome that is sold, and it is sold out so quickly. There's a very limited number that are put out early in the morning each day, and they are sold out super quickly. And it's literally just like a garden gnome. But this is the one from 2023. You can see I have a little caddy back here from, I think that was 2022, and I have another large one from my time there because I felt like I needed to be part of the in crowd and to get one of these coveted gnomes. But people go crazy for these. So they're like about $50, and they resell on eBay for like $500 or $600, which is like absolutely insane. So people are big collectors of these. They are like, people will stand in line early in the morning to be able to get into the pro shop to get these gnomes. When they come out to restock them in the pro shop, people are pushing and shoving. There is a limit. You can't get more than 2. So you can't go in there and just buy like 10 gnomes. They limit you to 2 so that, there's an opportunity for other people to get them. But I just thought that was so crazy. But now I feel like I'm part of the gnome fanatic fan club. So this year's gnome is super cute. I would love if someone that is going to the Masters would like to pick one up and send it to me. I would love to add it to my collection. But yeah, like like the gnomes are a thing and they're really, really cute and they're really awesome. Also, there's a place that's like many people don't know about, but it's called Berkman's Place. And this is a 90,000 square foot hidden area within Augusta. It's behind the Fifth Fairway. It is VIP exclusive access only. And I was lucky enough one year to be able to get a ticket to go in. And this is like the place where all of the VIPs are. So the members of Augusta, their guests, there's corporate tickets, there's celebrities, but it is like you go in and it's 5 different restaurants. There's a secret pro shop with their own logo. Actually, it's the logo that's on when someone wins the Masters, where it has that green kind of map of the US instead of the yellow. This is green. That's the Berkman's Place logo. So you go in, there's a secret entrance, like a private entrance. You go in, and there's 5 different restaurants. It's all you can eat, all you can drink. The food is top notch. The people that are servers at these restaurants, they're like highly coveted jobs for the 1 week that this is open every year. They're like master's levels, PhD students, just the like smartest of the smart, and they go because they love this opportunity to network and to have access to such a, high level, highbrow, high tier type event. So we went in, we had breakfast at one of the restaurants, had Bloody Marys, mimosas, went out to the course, came back in, went to this restaurant called Augusta's, and you order like as much food as you want, whatever you want. They had oysters that were flown in there were like 6 different types of oysters from 6 different coasts throughout the US that were flown in early that morning. And that we had just like a ton of oysters for lunch. And they were, I'm not even an oyster eater, but I was like, this is so cool. Like, I have to do this. They were phenomenal. So like outside of this amazing, spectacular event, there's this Berkman's Place. The other really cool thing about Berkman's is there are replica putting greens. They're replica of, I'm trying to think, I think it's hole 7, 14, and 16. There are replica putting greens. So you go out with a caddy and a group of 2 or 3 other people, and they show you and teach you how to putt on these putting greens. And they give you coaching advice because we know Augusta is really known for having quick, really hard, speedy greens. So to kind of experience a little bit about what the pros are feeling and having that experience of putting even with celebrities. There were a lot of celebrities that were out there putting in groups too. So I don't know, like it's just outside of this whole other amazing experience that's going on the golf course, there's this alternate, even probably more amazing experience going on within Berkman's, which just elevates the whole experience. So a little bit of insight there about the gnomes, the concessions, Berkman's Place. And I'm just super excited to sit on the couch and tune in this weekend and watch the magic unfold. So we'll bring in Marissa with her Azalea, and we'll get started with other stories of the week. Hey, Reese!
Hey, Rach!
Are you fishing out stuff? What's going
I'm
on?
fixing my garnish.
Oh, cheers!
Cheers!
Happy Azalea, although ours look different.
I know. Mine, gin is not something that I keep stocked in my bar, and my master's cup is boxed up in my storage unit, so I am like shooting off from the hip today as far as cocktail hour goes. But I did have the lemon.
Good.
And the vodka.
Look how fancy your lemon is. You had the lemon, the vodka.
Oh, yeah.
A little non-grenadine, looks like.
Little non-grenadine. It's ruby red. This is essentially a Greyhound. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's close enough, right?
I don't drink gin unless it's in a martini. Like,
it's the spirit of the Azalea. We got it. How's it going? Good?
It's going good. I will tell you that today was really, really hard to concentrate at work. I actually had a guy tell me straight up, he said, listen, Marissa, we're not about to have the long call because the Masters is on. Someone's teeing up on the 11th, so we need to go ahead and wrap this up. I said, say less, sir. We can get this call done in about 10 minutes. You just like hang on. And it's funny because I read this article today that said like productivity drops like 96% along the workforce the week of the Masters, and it absolutely felt like that today. I had back-to-back calls from 9 o'clock all the way until right before we started recording here at the end of the day. Every single person was like, oh, well, watching the Masters in the background, and Scotty just dropped out of first place. So it's been an interesting day. So needless to say, doing good. Very, very distracted this week, especially with like us coming off of the March Madness, and now we're in the Masters. It's just a little too much. I'm overwhelmed.
I had one call like that today, and I've been back to back. Not one person has said, let's like end this early and watch golf, because those are the kind of people that I want in my life. Yet I have people that are like more concerned about talking about pet insurance. So,
well, I mean, your job
great.
is important in the grand scheme of things.
Like, I would rather not talk about that, but that's great. Also, I did read an article because, I talk about my mom jeans and skinny jeans and all that all the time. I did read an article this morning. Apple sent it to me, which I feel like is a pretty legitimate source, that skinny jeans are back. So
Yay.
For all of my millennial friends out there that have been like gritting their teeth and waiting for this moment, they're coming back around, ladies. We are back in business.
So you just got to hold on to your stuff. It'll eventually come back into style.
18 months. Like we had to bear with it for 18 months.
But you know what it was? It was Gen Z. They were like, wait, these jeans are terrible. Like, they're falling off of me. I want the skinny jeans back.
No, right? Like, this doesn't make any part of my body look good.
At all.
So, where should we start? Should we start with NCAA tournament? Like, we can put a bow on college basketball?
I think we should. I think that we should just talk about what a nail biter of the end of the college basketball season has been. I mean, I don't think that we could have asked for a better Final Four. We got our Cinderella story with the University of Houston. We got our disappointment, which is Auburn. Every single sport that they touch turns to sorry. Like, the one thing that they could do was like win that game for the SEC, bring some pride to the state of Alabama, but they couldn't even do that. Every single sport that they do. But I digress. Great end to men's basketball. Great end to that, like, college basketball in general. Like, the girls UConn versus South Carolina game was absolutely insane.
That was so crazy. I don't think anyone saw South Carolina getting upset like that.
I think they were just out of steam, which is crazy because I knew I'd been following the girls tournament, and with Juju Smith getting hurt, I knew that like California, like US, their days were done. They were just done. So I thought for sure that they were going to be in the Final Four until she got hurt, and then what?
You got these like thumbs
up.
up.
I'm not doing that. I'm not even touching the screen. I don't know why it does that. Like, am I doing something that signals it to do
You're
that?
giving yourself thumbs up.
I'm not even touching it. I don't think I'm that great, America. I'm just.
Oh my gosh.
It's the phone. I'm just.
You're like, yeah, Juju Smith got hurt. I got this.
Oh God, no! I'm sorry. No, I did not want that.
The screen's like, yeah, keep going.
Jesus, we have to send a letter. Sorry. We need to send a letter to the podcast people. But no, it was sad to see Dawn Staley go down, although I don't think that, I mean, it was like the battle of two titans. I mean, the coach at UConn, he is just a generational coach. She's a generational coach. It was a battle of the titans. It was a great game. I did feel like South Carolina kind of ran out of steam. Those girls played so hard for so long. And we can probably, is it still doing thumbs up? I'm not even talking about South Carolina. South Carolina. I don't know. This is wild. South Carolina. They do it again.
I don't know.
Harry Winston. Louis Vuitton. Tiffany. Cartier.
Dawn Staley.
Okay.
That's like what
Dawn Staley. But yeah, needless to say, great end of the tournament.
Yeah, and I feel like the Houston Florida game took a while to get going. Like I actually
Yeah,
fell asleep in the first half. I like laid
same.
down on the couch and like, is anything gonna happen? They were calling like no fouls. I think they called four fouls in the first half, which I feel like
Yeah,
the way that the game was refed in the first half versus the second half was so different. It's like they were like letting them play UFC in the first half, and then like they were watching a like ballet in the second.
Mhm.
Like they just kept calling everything in the second, which set I think feel like the precedent that you set in the first half should be followed through in the second. Like just let them play.
I just
So it
think
was
it was just a
annoying.
lot of teams were just out of steam. It kind of looked like it. It was just everyone was tired.
Yeah,
Everyone looked really tired. But yeah, I agree. I agree. They look tired.
four fouls versus 25. Like that's all I'm saying. That's a pretty
Yeah.
big
When you
shift.
lose focus, simple mistakes turn into stuff like errors and fouls. Like it's insane. We saw that a lot during Bama's season.
So we put a bow on college basketball. What we have to spend, I think, the rest of our time today about talking about is the Masters because it's
Yes.
my favorite weekend of the year. It is just, it's like this amazing, amazing tournament. Everyone looks forward to it. You mentioned productivity in America. Probably not the same loss of productivity as when there's the start of the NCAA tournament, but I feel like people are
Right.
like, okay, but just like one more week, like we need this one more thing at the end of the
I feel
season.
like there are like three major sporting events where no one is working, and it's the Masters, it's the beginning of the tournament, and it's the World Cup.
Yes, right?
No
No,
one,
you're
no one is
absolutely
working
right.
during this.
So I think there's like a couple really cool things that I love. The tradition around it seems like every aspect of the Masters is just it's over the top, overdone, and celebrated. So one of the things that I love is this champions dinner where all of the
Mm-hmm.
past champions come and they're hosted by the winner of the tournament the prior year. The prior winner gets to pick the menu and um, he like picks every element of that dinner and all of the past champions are in attendance and it's like this whole big kumbaya, all of this camaraderie. You get to be part of this club. So Scotty Scheffler picked his menu because he was the winner last year. He picked his menu this year and he had like cheeseburger sliders and chili as the appetizer. Had a choice of ribeye steak or redfish for the main course, and then had a skillet cookie and vanilla ice cream on the top as the dessert. So I'm curious, Marissa, what would your champion's dinner be? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Well, man, I'm a simple gal. I like a wedge salad with
Yeah.
like the bacon and the blue cheese and all that good stuff on top. I like a steak, medium well, with really good like Worcestershire sauce on it, maybe with some blue cheese or some gorgonzola, and a big fat loaded baked potato.
Oh,
That's
sounds
like
so
I
good.
like live. That's like I love. That's like my dinner. I would love to eat like that every day, but I don't want to die of a heart attack, so I don't. And then I would just like finish that bad boy off with like apple pie a la mode. Call it a day.
Oh, that's
I'm a
what
simple
my
girl.
dessert would be. I know, so good, right?
Yeah, you cannot go wrong.
I
I don't
think
know
I
if
would
I have the
have.
stomach to eat all that food these days, but like that's my dream
Oh,
dinner right now.
you would, right? And yeah.
If I just
Um,
played 18 holes of golf, I absolutely would demolish all that food.
I think I would have a charcuterie board. Like
Ooh,
that
girl,
would be my appetizer where we would have like either individual charcuterie boards or we would have like a couple shared ones and then obviously wine to go with it. But I just love starting out with like some meats and cheeses and fruits and pickled vegetables because it's kind of light, but it's also, you get some protein.
yeah,
And
I
then I
forgot I have
do
to invite
think
the right people to this dinner.
people that might not necessarily like each other either. So there's
Oh,
like that fun dynamic.
yeah.
Um, so I think I would do that. I like the steak idea, so I would probably do like a bacon wrap fillet.
Ooh,
Doesn't that sound good? With like a little bit of like crab Oscar on top, like a little bit of crab meat with the baked potato and maybe some asparagus or some
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts. So you get like a little
Yeah.
bit of green there.
Oh my
And
God,
then
my
I
mouth.
would do the apple pie. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I would do the apple
Oh my
pie
God, do you
too.
guys have a Hillstone up there in Colorado?
We do. I've never been.
Oh my God, you have to go because I guess Hillstone is the same thing as this place Houston's in Atlanta. And like now
I've
I'm
been to
just thinking about
Houston's.
like their dinner and they have like my mouth is literally watering. They have the best salad and it comes with they're like grilled cheese croutons that have
Ooh,
like they've got this like amazing garlic cheese toast that comes with it with like this with bacon and it's got eggs and blue cheese and tomatoes in it and it's so good. And they have this Hawaiian ribeye.
okay.
Like
I was
it's
going to say, if you talk about the Hawaiian ribeye, I'm going to die because that is my favorite steak in the entire world. It's the only
it's
thing I've
so
ever had
good.
at Houston's, and I'm like, does it get better? Because what is it marinated for like 36 hours or something?
I don't know.
It's like it's crazy, but it like
Yeah.
how is it so good? It just melts in your mouth.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know what they do to their food, but it's just amazing. And like I just thought, yeah, if I was gonna host a championship dinner, like I'd probably just get Houston's to cater it.
Yes.
Like I don't really care what anyone else
I think
likes.
they
Me
have
and
Houston's
you
in
back.
Augusta, but when you're the champion, they make it happen, right?
Yeah. If you don't eat meat, you can't come. Like, because I don't want to sit there and watch you eat beetroot and butternut squash. That's lame.
You're not a
Eat
golfer if you
before you
do,
come.
right? Yeah, right.
Well, I'll be the most difficult person. If you don't like what's on the menu, eat before you come. This dinner's not for you.
So talking about eating, I saw an article about this guy who he dresses up like somebody from Happy Gilmore, and I think maybe his outfit changes. And
Okay.
when he goes to golf courses, he literally does this where he eats 18 hot dogs for 18 holes and drinks 18 beers.
Oh my god.
I know, like, are you just like vomiting in your mouth? Like,
I'm like trying so hard not to dry heat right now. Oh my god.
18 hot dogs? Like 18 beers already, like my stomach is full,
My
even
stomach
thinking about how
hurts.
you do that. But like, and then like 18 hot dogs on top of that. I mean, how many hot dogs have you even eaten in the last 12 months?
Like two, and I think it
I,
was like one on Memorial Day and one on the 4th of July.
yeah, same.
Yeah,
Like
like
18 in 4 hours
oh
plus
my god, I
18
want to
beers.
throw up at the thought of that. Because all I can see is some guy just like shoving hot dogs into his mouth like it's the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Ew, on a golf
Oh,
cart
I
in
have
the
like
middle.
goosebumps. It's so gross. Where do you get the hot dogs? How do you keep the hot dogs warm? Do you
You
even
know
care?
what? Rach, you know what the gross aspect of this thought is that you have to keep the hot dogs hot and the beer cold. And there is going to be transfer of heat at some point where that beer gets warm and the hot dog gets cold.
And how many beers do you have to drink until you don't care about the temperature of the hot dog?
12.
Like separate coolers. Let's be honest. Nobody's sharing a cart with this guy.
No,
Can you
at
imagine
all.
like the smells that are coming out of him on like a hot, sweaty day?
Bro,
Like hot dog and beer.
you drive behind me, you tee off down like I don't want to be anywhere downwind of you.
Yeah. No. That's disgusting. But what I think is fun, and maybe we do this when we do fling golf, is we do
Yeah.
a bottle of wine over 9.
Jesus. Rage.
It's 2.5, what, 2.5 hours to drink a bottle of wine? Like, that's probably more responsible than my wine consumption today.
Okay, wait. Say the metrics one more time because I just blacked out at the thought.
It's a bottle of wine over 9. So 9 holes would be about 2 hours. That's 4 glasses of wine over 2 hours.
I'm not making it to the back 9.
No, it's only a front 9 game.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Yeah.
don't do a second bottle of wine.
I mean, we could.
We could, but A, Uber better be sponsoring the second half.
Look,
And
Uber has to come
B,
get me on the 11th. The 11th will come get
B,
me.
it's not going to be red wine.
No. Oh no.
It's gonna be like
No.
sparkling. We're doing bubbles.
I
But
think it's fair to
like,
say that like when the temperature reaches a certain aspect, you move from red wine to white wine. If you're crushing red wine and it's 80 degrees outside, you got to get your life together. I can't. Ugh.
at that point, we're just hanging a bag in the golf cart and like, what is it? The slap the bag? Yeah.
Slap in the bag,
Slap
baby.
the bag, baby. Okay, I kind of feel like this is going to have to happen. I'm coming to Charlotte in a couple weeks, so I don't know. Maybe
Yay.
we're slapping the bag on a executive par 3
Oh my
course.
God, I've got the perfect, terrible golf course for us to go to.
I
Like
feel like
$20
this is
green
going to
fees.
happen.
It's right down the street from my office. It's the worst. We can go there.
I mean, they would be very accepting of this challenge, right?
Very, very.
Hang a bag of wine like an IV bag
From the roof of the golf cart. Stay tuned to future episode of Sports Uncorked.
What's the chance that this, like, we actually make it 9 holes?
None.
0. Yeah, that's
my
0.
attention span when I'm sober is like 6. So
That's,
I'm gonna be like, we're gonna get to the 4th hole and be like, is it too late for us to go back?
listen, when I was in college at Alabama, I was invited by a friend to be a cart girl that delivered Jello shots and had a keg on the back of my cart and drive around this law school student golf tournament. I'm like, that sounds right up my alley. Perfect. Give me 100 Jello shots and a keg of beer, and I will make this a really fun day. So my friend Katie and I went driving around, and we overserved every single lawyer or wannabe lawyer that was on that course that day. There were 2 golf carts that ended up in the lake, and they are no longer allowed to have this event because of probably because we overserved. We were doing keg stands for these people at every hole.
It's
like
you.
It was
you
like
were
a
the
whole
problem
thing.
that day.
I feel like we were the problem that day, but I mean that was the assignment, and I took the assignment very seriously, and it was fun. But now the law students at Alabama don't get to have their charity golf events.
We'll have to join that business fraternity at Alabama and go to that golf tournament.
You were trying to sell tickets to that? People would probably love to know that Marissa and I met in a business fraternity.
We're very professional.
We were so professional. We were like building our resumes, and we were very
building our resumes and going to wine tastings in someone's house. That's where we found our love for wine. We were like, oh, this is terrible.
But our love of wine was like Behringer and Franzia, Woodbridge.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I feel like our taste in wine has come quite a long time. From like the gallon bottle of Yellowtail that we were so excited to have because we knew it was going to last us all weekend. Because back then it was like $12, even though now it's like $20, which is like gross. The fact that we the fact that we ever spent that much money on wine that gross is still like beyond me. But I feel like we've really matured.
I mean, look where we are now. I had a bottle of Camus last weekend that someone gave me, and I actually was like, I don't like this wine. I think it was like the cheap Camus. It wasn't like the expensive one, but it was. I mean, it wasn't cheap. Trust me, it wasn't cheap, but it was. It was not the $300 bottle of Camus. It was like the $70.
Oh,
it was so heavy and like jammy, and I don't know. But I'm like, now I don't like Camus. Apparently, like, what the hell is happening?
Well, you can't go wrong with a Wagner family joint. We might have to rectify.
I know. I agree. So speaking of par 3s and a disaster, what wasn't a disaster, and what I think is one of the cutest, most precious things that happens during Masters Week is the par 3 family event that happens on Wednesdays with all those little kids and the little like golf wives in their sweet little like white caddy outfits with the names on the back. It is. Is there anything cuter? Is there anything more adorable than that event?
All I know is that little Poppy McElroy stole my heart. She is just the cutest thing. She just like crushed that 20-yard putt on accident. Like she did so, like it was so cute.
What was so cute about that is Shane Lowry's like on the side. He comes in and he's like, "Oh my god, like it's gonna go, it's gonna go!" And then his
No,
daughter runs out and like picks Poppy up, and they're celebrating.
it
And
was
poor
so
Poppy's
cute.
like so scared, isn't she? She's like everybody's screaming
Well,
at
she
me.
like
There's like,
barely hit that thing. The greens were just running really fast. She got so lucky, but she was just like, but
I know.
that's how it is sometimes. If you don't care, that's the only way you play well.
I think my favorite kid is like Sammy Spieth. He's like
Oh
freaking
yeah,
adorable, and he like kind of crushed the ball. Also, Jordan Spieth seems like the best dad. Like I saw a video
yeah.
of him where he's following his little daughter Sophie around, and she's like picking up stuff and trying to eat it, like grass and flowers and stuff. And he's like, Sophie, no, like we don't eat that. We don't eat that. So he's got
Like
like
that's
a
got to
golf
be like
ball
the
on his
most
shoulder.
fun and most stressful thing for them.
So it is so cute. It is incredibly cute to watch
I
these little
like their little
kids
caddy
toddle
outfit. Like
around.
I want a little caddy outfit. We should get
Oh,
them. Who do I need
get
to
those.
call? We just gotta get. It'll should say like our names on it. Sports Uncorked on the front.
I mean, I would rock that. I'd rock that.
I'm making it.
We just get like a prison jumpsuit and bleach it.
I don't know where you get prison jumpsuits from.
I mean, I'm sure it might be easier to find those.
I might know some people. I'm gonna do some calls. I'm gonna make some calls.
I'd rather get it from Augusta for the record.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Have you seen the merch hauls that some of these people have been making out of the Masters? Like, cute quarter zips, coasters, cocktail napkins. Like, this stuff is awesome.
Listen, I spent over $2,000 in the merch tent when I went the first year. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even know what happened. I just got to the register and they're like, $2,118.22. And I was like, cool. So worth it. Now I
Run
have
it.
like Christmas gifts for the next year for
Yeah.
everyone. But it's like so overwhelming because you can't take a phone in, right?
Yeah.
You actually have to think ahead, and you usually have like a list of things that you're getting for people. So you're like, I need 17 umbrellas, I need 4 of this shirt, 1 in this size. You're like bargaining and negotiating with people for like
I
different
can know.
sizes. It's like a whole thing, and it's so overwhelming. It was very stressful. But Augusta does more in sales on those 4 days than Nordstrom.
I believe it.
It's
I 100% believe
it's
it.
crazy. It's crazy.
Ugh, I can't even imagine. I went to the merch tent at the Wells Fargo Championship and I was like, this is not for me. I'll order it online.
Right?
I'm not like a shopping girly anyways. I'm like, I like to order my stuff for curbside pickup that I ordered online. If it doesn't fit, I will return it on the spot.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, and you're like all wedged in here like this, and everyone's aggressive because they're looking for these gnomes, which I talked a little bit about earlier.
Yeah.
Like everyone's pushing and trying to get sizes because they run out, and it's a lot. We'll just put
Well,
it
do
that
they
way.
have like they gotta have an online store, right? They don't.
No,
Ew.
you have to go and be there. That's why it is the way it is. That people will spend 2 hours in the merch line in order to get in and get stuff.
Oh no, I don't want anything that bad.
Yeah. And so
No.
then it's like the pressure of, okay, if you're going for 2 days, you don't want to go to the merch shop 2 times because there's one and then there's like the secret one back in Berkman's, but it doesn't have like a
Yeah.
good selection. So you just want to go one time, and it's kind of like if you forget something, you just forget it.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. I
It's
think I
crazy.
spent like 40 minutes on the phone trying to buy tickets to Adele, and that was like, I've hit my max. This is the longest I've ever waited to buy anything, and I don't care to do this ever again.
I know. It's like I don't need a hat that bad, right? Or
Mm-mm.
like a pullover or a t-shirt that's probably
No.
not going to be the right size. You can't try anything on really. Like it's just I don't know. It's kind of weird,
Oh.
but that's part of the experience.
Yeah. I'd be like, you just come find me. I'll be the one standing with a barbecue sandwich in her hand.
Yeah, right. And a crow's nest beer, which is delicious.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, are you gonna watch on your couch this weekend? Like, what are your plans?
I am kind of watching right now. I'm going to watch for a little bit tomorrow. I'm actually going to go out to a golf tournament tomorrow.
Fun.
That is not the Masters. So I'm going to be outside, but I'm going to be checking the highlights in the morning, and at night I'm going to be watching pieces of it on my phone, um, and just checking to see what's going on. Our guy Rory is out there just killing it.
Just crushing it, man. I know. I think it'll be fun to watch him. He's definitely like, I think, peaking this year, right? He's already has one major under his belt. He's had a couple top 10 finishes. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's peaking. So
You know
is
what it
Justin
is?
Rose still
Like
8 under?
oh yeah, yeah. I think it's just a redirection of focus for him because I thought that he was going to struggle after stuff that happened to him in his personal life earlier this year,
Yeah.
but he's really just like he's focusing and things are getting better unless things are working out for him at home. I don't know. Sometimes that affects people. Um, but it's been good.
Plug for Full Swing. If you haven't watched the newest season of Full Swing on Netflix,
Yeah, not yet.
it addresses the personal stuff. It
Oh,
addresses Scotty Scheffler's arrest. It addresses
really?
like they're spilling some tea, and it actually was really good. I watched it, and
Okay.
I think it's 5 hours long, and I
I'll
like
get into
binged
that
it.
later.
Yeah, it's really good.
Nice. Yeah, I've been watching the highlights just because it's too much. They're like doing highlight reels of Tiger right now, which is hilarious. But it's been like some of the highlights that I've been watching have just been like super awesome. Like I don't know if you saw like um God, it's like completely lost me now. But somebody like skipped a ball across the water hazard and
Oh
um
yeah, a chick, right? Like
it is
a
awesome.
girl in the under 12.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it was
awesome.
awesome.
So it's been fun to watch so far, but I can't sit and watch golf all day. I'll fall asleep. It's
Hey, I
like
can tell you, like a nap on the couch with the windows open and a nice breeze with the Masters on in the background is like one of the
oh,
best naps you'll take. So embrace that.
vibe, Rach. That's a whole vibe.
I know. Like every bit of this weekend is my favorite, including the naps.
Oh man, I didn't even think about. Oh man, yeah. I'll have to squeeze one in maybe a couple hours. I'll do the nap and I'll watch.
Love it. All right. Well, cheers. Should we bring Lou in and see? I bet he
Yeah.
has some kind of, since we have a large outdoor event this week, I'm sure he has something related to the Masters for us.
Oh yeah, for sure. The winds are changing. I'm sure he's got some input on it.
All right. Well, good to see you, and
Good to
let's see
see you.
what Lou has in store.
Alrighty.
Hey, Lou.
Hello, 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 ladies. It's Masters Weekend or Masters Weekend approaching. So, by the way, cheers. Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm drinking a little Pinot
Cheers.
Rosé. Oh, what you got there? That looks tropical.
We're drinking
Marissa.
azaleas.
Azaleas. Oh, dang. Yeah, I mine kind of looks azalea like, but it's actually a rosé. So,
Oh, good.
next best thing to
We'll
an
take that
azalea, right?
Yeah.
to
What?
pink
So,
drinks.
what's in an azalea? I'm sure you told the
You
audience by
have to
now.
listen. You have to go back
Okay,
and listen.
okay. We're not gonna cover
It's a
old
vital
All our
territory.
drink.
favorite things.
So I
Yeah.
assume you haven't talked about how Rachel was victorious in our bracket, NCAA men's college basketball brackets. We got to give her props. You took us both down, Marissa.
I know. It was a close second though.
You were. I was a distant third, and it. Hey, I was looking great going into the Final Four, and then Duke lost, and Auburn lost, and they lost when they actually it looked like they were sure winners at a certain point in the game, particularly the Duke game. I think with like a minute left, Duke on ESPN had a 90% plus chance of winning that game, and somehow
Yeah.
they found a way to lose.
They didn't score in the last 10 minutes. Like,
Well,
you
wasn't
don't win a game that way.
It
but
was like
wasn't
the last
it
90
kind of
seconds that changed everything.
Yeah.
yeah, but all three of those games, the two Final Fours and the championship game, very similar in that they were, I mean, might have been the best Final Four championship kind of game set of games ever. I mean, everyone was thrilling. And then everyone, that scrappy team came back and and just kept at it, never gave up, and eventually won the game. It was like the scrappier team won the game. It was crazy. So yeah, props to you and props to Florida for kind of prevailing and what was really a great.
We knew the SEC had it in them. If
Yeah,
it was
well, it's
one, it was going to be another.
appropriate enough. SEC was the strongest conference by far all year, and they took the championship. So
The best
it's
talent money can buy.
So I was in
cool.
two bracket pools, this one and then another one, and I won both of them. So I'm going to pat myself on the back there. But from a betting perspective, Blue, you'll be proud. I did a parlay, which, I'm not very successful usually, but
Right.
I had Florida with the money line, and then I had both teams scoring less than 65.5 points. Final score 63-65. Like,
Ooh,
barely.
ooh.
Wow.
I did have a little
I,
bet also on the game going to overtime, which was
oh,
like a +1,000. So I was like, okay, well, if I go over, then
take the
maybe
take
we'll
the
go to
OT.
overtime, right? When they were like flailing around on the floor, I was like, if Houston gets a shot off and it's a 2 to send it to overtime, then I'm covered there. And it would have been 65-65. That would have been like a perfect scenario. 65
Unbelievable.
65 and overtime.
And over. Yep.
So um,
Close, but
it was
still.
close, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. Although I fell asleep in the first half of the game. I already shared that, but it was pretty.
Well,
First half to me was pretty boring.
you got me. I fell asleep in the second half of the game. So past my bedtime. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So talking about betting, you want to hear a quick update on my major league wind weather wagers?
Yes.
Well, for the first time ever, yesterday, there were no bets that I could make because none of them fit my parameters, at least 10 miles an hour wind, either helping or hurting. And today, not no games to bet on, nothing hit my parameters. So I'm sitting here without a bet on Wednesday or Thursday. We're recording this on Thursday. And I've come back to earth a little bit. So I think the last time I talked to you guys, I was like 15 wins, 10 losses, 60% win rate. It's come down a little bit. I'm out of like a 56.5% win rate. So still above 50%. And looking to get back on the horse. Actually, for the weekend, no, for Friday's games, since we will release this early Friday morning, promise. I'm looking at New York. And I forget who New York's playing. The games that are in New York is the Yankees and Baltimore, whoever's playing Baltimore. In both of those games, we're going to have a northeast wind blowing 10 to 20 miles an hour. So it will be a hurting wind. So I'll be betting the under on those games. See what happens.
Blue, you didn't have any wind bets for the Masters? The wind is blowing like 12 miles an hour out there in Augusta.
It's a little gusty. So let's talk about something much more interesting than my major league weather bets. Let's talk about Masters weather because that always next to the British Open, which is like that's where the weather is always in the news and you're hoping for like sideways rain and it's just making it impossible to play and all that. The other place is Augusta and particularly the wind at Augusta, particularly if it's been dry and it dries out the fairways and greens. It just makes that place tough to play because other than that, Augusta is a fairly, it's not this terribly difficult course like a US Open setup sometimes is. It just, they can only do so much with it. What makes it difficult are the greens. And you've got to be able to hit like really good shots into the greens, which means you got to be in the right place after you drive and all of that sort of thing. And so there's two things that come into play with weather at Augusta. One definitely is the winds, and the other is how soft are the greens. Those two things. So today, as you mentioned, Marissa, a little bit breezy, but not 10, 12, 15 miles an hour. Not terribly high. And it is sunny and it is pretty dry. So from what I was watching, the balls were holding on the greens. I think it rained last weekend here. So we've gotten a little bit of rain in the southeast over the past week, but not much. So a bigger chance of rain is going to come in tonight and tomorrow, and some winds are going to accompany that. So we'll be watching that. I think the winds 10 to 20 miles an hour tomorrow and breezy.
Mm.
What's going to be interesting, so that could make it a little tough for scoring. The weekend is looking gorgeous. So if you plan on going to the Masters this weekend, you hit the jackpot. It might be a little cold. It will be a little cold at the start of the day, but both days warming up into the low 70s, sunny, and almost no wind. I mean, I think the very, very light winds on Saturday and like no wind whatsoever on Sunday. So if it does rain a fair amount tonight, earlier in the day tomorrow, going to soften up that course, and then with no winds over the weekend, I would expect some high scores. I would love to find a wager that allowed me to bet on the, like, I don't know, highest score in on Sunday or Saturday. I
The
mean, I would take
the lowest scoring.
the lowest score. Yes, yes, good. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, yes. But I don't think such a wager exists. I mean, actually, somewhere on the internet, that wager probably exists someplace. I don't know.
Probably some more statistics. You got someone like Bryson DeChambeau that just rips it down the fairway. It's probably like super helpful for him. But then you've got little dainty Rory that just clips it up into the air a couple hundred yards. Just
Dainty Rory.
I know. I'm like, he
That's quite
crushes it.
that's quite an adjective.
in
Dainty
comparison to Bryson, it's like
Bryson.
very different body sizes.
Those two drive at the farthest, though.
I
Yeah,
know.
Up there with Bryson.
but if you put those guys next to each other, like I think Bryson is about like a foot taller than Rory.
Bryson's a big dude.
He's a foot
Rory's like,
taller, but his ball doesn't go
no, it's
200
fine.
yards further.
Well, that's the thing. How about that guy? And I don't know where he's from. He might be from Singapore, and I may be wrong on that. But his waist size is about he's the guy with the big glasses,
Akshay.
but
Oh, yeah.
Akshay, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Akshay, he looks like he's got about a 22 size waist.
Yeah.
Take a look at his
He's
waist.
like 12 years old. Yeah.
I could get one leg in it, but he bombs it.
Yeah.
He bombs it. He just, stands up, obviously super flexible, super torque he's generating, but good Lord, dude, put some meat on those bones. Get a
No,
little,
seriously.
get a little protein in you. What do you? So it's going to be a fun weekend, and I love the fact that you can. It used to be that the thing about the Masters was it's like it gave you the least opportunity to watch it. Now, you ladies, being much younger than me, may not remember those days, but back in the day when the only option you had to watch it was network television. And I want to say, so it would be on from 3 to 6 on Thursday, 3 to 6 on Friday,
Mm.
3 to 7 maybe on Saturday, and maybe 2 to 7 on Sunday at most. And it
Mm.
might have even been 3 to 7 on Sunday. Just that, and that's all the video you ever had of that. Now you can, when it's not on TV, you just get it on, go to masters.com and you get it all day.
It's literally on. It's been on all day
Yeah,
on ESPN Plus, on the Golf Channel. Like,
I'd like to see a productivity meter in the U.S. or around the world right now.
it drops by 90%. They already released it.
Exactly. Oh, really? Yeah. That I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Well, okay, ladies, I got to grab some dinner. And I know you guys have better things to do than chat with me about Major League Baseball win statistics. So I will bid you adieu.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We will see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.